All right, we're live. All right, guys, welcome again. Welcome to another Sunday CBD, Sunday Chart Breakdown. With yours truly, Terro Trades, and we also have Currency Meech, aka Trades by Drew, tonight. So we're gonna do it the same way how we usually do it. And it's by me breaking down XAU, USD, aka gold, right? So this is the chart we have pulled up here. I'm already on the monthly time frame. I'm going to do a top-down analysis based on the higher time frame. Monthly go all the way down to lower time frames. Not sure how far we'll stop, but we have a bit of consolidation this week based on my knowledge prior to joining this right here. Right? Give me 1 second. Let me just check. Let me just fix the audio real quick. All right. Hopefully it's not echoing now. Give me a second, guys. Mm, all right. Not sure if it's still echoing. Let me just double check. Give me 1 second. All right. Testing, testing. Let me switch this over. Okay. All right. So, yeah, guys. So, looking on the higher time frame, the monthly time frame right here. Let me just restart the capture so that we're all good. Okay. All right. So, we're all good. Yeah. So, looking on the monthly time frame right now, um, we're not seeing much, meaning that we only have 7 days. We've only had 7 daily candles printed since the day the month has started. Today being one of them, right? Which is not even 3 hours good in the market. So today's daily candle will not show much data. But this is how it looks so far, right? So let me just go ahead and drop down to the lower time frames in a second. Let me just zoom out a bit, zoom in a bit. So basically, um, the month before last, we had huge exhaustion last month, which was November, closed bullish, right? Major bullish. And for this month, in which we're in 6 days and a few hours, we can see where the market opened, pushed all the way to up here, which was the this is 4,265 level, right? And retreat then went all the way down by the 4,166 level. And now we are here in basically the middle, right? And if we drop down to a lower time frame, it will look like the market is doing a bunch of consolidation. So let me go ahead and drop down to a lower time frame where we can see more of the data. Okay. All right. So we're now on the weekly time frame. We still have this level right here on the weekly time frame in which the market failed to break past, right? After opening and closing last week, right? It closed bearish. We might receive another retracement, right? Maybe down to a area. I'll check on on the daily time frame, which would be a bit more clear. But basically, it tested this area, tapped in the area, and then I'm not sure what happened, but wait, it's not tested because the candle didn't form in the area directly. So my mistake. But it did tap in it to give us there a doji candle right here, which was last week basically. But this week we opened a bullish, which is nice. But basically, we don't have much data to play around with when it comes on to the weekly. But this huge doji, right? Huge consolidation for last week. It closed out doji, indicating break um it didn't break this area right here, and it's still within this candle. So while we might expect a bit of retracement, it's still bullish pressure based on the overall trend of the market on the higher time frame, which is the monthly and the weekly in which we're on right now. So let's drop down to a lower time frame to see what else we can gather from this. All right. So now we're on the weekly time frame, the daily time frame. My mistake. So now we're on the daily time frame, right? We can notice where the previous day, which this was Friday, we had a huge top wick rejection right here on this candle, indicating sellers stepping in. We're not sure what might happen, what might happen going forward because we have huge wicks from either side. One, two, three, four candles. We have huge spikes on opposite directions, right? However, this can still form a level of support right here, right? To continue to use this as a level to continue push it up, basically. Right? And this is on a daily time frame. So basically last week was pretty atrocious. Like it was just terrible. It was just a terrible week. But for this week, as I said, the market can come down here, retest this level to continue pushing up on the daily time frame, which is this is a strong daily zone, which is a perfect area to buy the market from. So let's drop down to the 4 hour time frame. So we're still within this level right here, this push, right? At a strong level, despite all the wicks on the daily time frame, despite all the wicks from the opposite directions, right? The choppiness, we still have a level of support right here, which have not been broken or anything as yet. So what we're hoping for, right, um, is basically for the market to continue with structure, right? If I'm supposed to draw a structure, or even drop down to the line chart, right? It will show more apparent that we're not breaking anything to go lower, to go to a lower time frame. This level of support is still being maintained, right? Tested and tested, right? Still for the uptrend. So it's still a clean buyer's market, right? Let's drop down to a lower time frame to see what else we can see, to see what else we can uncover, right? Even though this was a huge sell-off, right? Huge spike to the downside. If you had your uh order right here, or right, well, previously right here on Thursday, which is when you could have taken this trade, right? A lot of persons took a trade opportunity from here, right? This level. Let's change the color of this. From this level, go all the way up to the psychological level. I believe this was a 23.6. If I'm supposed to draw my fib, it was from there to there. Yeah. And then let's zoom in a bit where we can see it better. But it did retest this level. Right? Very minor, but it did retest this minor level of resistance to continue this trend. So a lot of persons took this buying opportunity. Might seem little, but it literally pushed over 300 pips, right? Stop loss below. This was a pretty good trade too as well. But if you had taken trades from this level, right here, in which the market just stopped, right, just pushed from and basically retested at 8 p.m., you would have still been in profit. You understand? Depending on where your stop loss is, you would have still been in the safe. You would have still have been in the clear. But despite all the choppiness, again, still in an uptrend, still retested this support area right here. So I'm still expecting buys, right? So let's see how it looks on a lower time frame. But let's see for now if you were supposed to take advantage of this opportunity in which we had. All right, so it was earlier, it was 78.6 level. Again, still maintaining here. And we also are at the 4,200 level, which is indecision level, aka a psychological level, which the market tends to respect. Those are the whole numbers. So until it breaks past this level right here, then it's still bullish for me based on my understanding of the market. Right? But that's it basically for me. Not much, right? Um, Entry could be taken somewhere in there. Well, after 8, so it would have been in the retest right there. Stop loss below low right there. Boom. Let's see how much that is. Yep. Only 1300 only 13 one only 130 pips stop loss, right? We would have been good for the buys, right? If we had taken the entry after we had gotten a retracement. But yeah, this is a trade overall, right? Just to be safe, I target the high point right there, or you could set to target the negative 27, but wouldn't really push it past there, but because of how the market is behaving right now. But again, still solid trade, negative 27 or even the indecision level right there, right? And the psychological level right there. And then with institutional level, I keep saying indecision level. So yeah, we would have been good. We would have been good. Yeah. That's it for me though. I'm gonna turn this over right now to Currency Meech, right, in a second. Let me go ahead and all right, good to go.
Recording in progress.
All right, remember to turn on your mic.
Right. Afternoon, everyone. And the floating panel. Why is this on gold? All right, so good night, everyone. This is Shares by Drew, aka Currency Meech, and I'll be going over US 30. So as you can see on the monthly time frame, we have had back-to-back bullish months. Last month was at doji, and this month is now basically continuing that bullish type volume that we have been seeing for the past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, approximately 9 months. Right? So boom, break that down on a weekly time frame. Last week we noticed that we had a nice continuation of the buys, right? Remember last week I said that based on this daily time frame, we were looking on this as a ABCD type pattern. So we would have our point A right here. We would have had our point B up here. We would have our point C right here. So last week the market opened here. Was it last week or was it the week before? It was the week before. Oh my God. So the week before we opened here and we started this daily time frame push. So we're basically still on this push. So last week the market opened here. Sorry, yeah. So the market opened here last week, and as I said before, we are targeting that negative 27 that was based off the fib that was plotted from here to here. So we are targeting that negative 27 area, or we can target back this daily high, or basically, let me see which institutional level. So the 49,000 institutional area interest can also be a potential take profit area. So now breaking down on lower time frames, we're seeing that the market is still bullish based off this 1 hour time frame because we have yet to violate an area of support, which is a higher low area support. So I'm expecting for the continuations of these buys. So basically we can plot ourselves a fib from point A, which is right here, to point B right here. Point A, point B, the market is at a 23.6. So we can expect that continuation to the negative 27. Should be right up here for tomorrow. So we're not really looking to take any trades until pre-NY session or until the volume kicks in around 9:30 a.m. So until then, I'm not really looking to break down the data that I'm seeing because I don't really have enough data right now. As I can see, the market is fresh. We only have like 3 hours of data that's being presented right now. So that's not enough for me to break down a trade opportunity. As we can see here though, we are basically right now in a symmetrical triangle. Let me plot that. Right, in a symmetrical triangle on the 5 minute time frame right now. Let's go there. As you can see, we're having lower high points as well. Right? So we're basically in a symmetrical triangle. And as I said, I'm expecting the market to continue buying at this point, but we won't know what's going to happen until those higher low points. We haven't really violated a significant area where you know that if the market breaks that area, we are no longer in an uptrend, and that area is all the way down here because as you see, this here is a 23.6 area support. That's not a valid structure point, that's just a continuation of this initial push. So until the market violates this area down by the 47,100, or call it the 47,200 area support, the market is still pretty much bullish. So that is it for me. I hope you all have a successful trading week. I'm out.
Okay. All right, guys. That's it
Recording
for tonight.
stopped.
That's it for tonight. It was a pretty short meeting, in comparison to the ones that we usually drop, but not much data so far. And yeah, that's it. It doesn't have to be long all the time. But everyone, thank you for coming, and do enjoy the rest of your night, enjoy your Sunday. And I do hope everyone makes some money. And